Welcome to another Ask Arlington. I'm Jay Warren. Ask Arlington is a show dedicated to answering the questions that you have about what's happening here in our city. On this episode, we are focusing on the hiring and training process with the Arlington Police Department. The Arlington Basic Police Academy provides training that develops officers to work with the department and the community in a positive way. The Academy requires that all police recruits have a college degree and demonstrate strong qualities in the following areas: knowledge, attitude, discipline, skills, and physical fitness. Joining me now to talk more about how you can join the Arlington Police Department is Sergeant Jeff Davis. Sergeant, thanks for joining us today. We really do appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
And we thought before we got started, and we got some really good questions from our residents, we might have you kind of walk us through the program that you're responsible for. Kind of tell us how the program works.
Certainly. Basically, it starts with the application. You know, we have three ways that people can apply, either online, through the mail, or they could hand deliver them to us at the main station. Once they turn in that application, we will then interview them. They will go through a series of assessments that are required by the state, and then a background investigation. If they complete the background investigation, the last step that they'll go through would be a final board with senior staff members of our department, and then they'll be given a date to start the academy.
And then if they do start the academy, they're also starting as a full-time employee at that point.
That's correct,
right?
yes. Our next academy will be January 16th of next year, and we're in the hiring process right now for that.
Okay, very good. Well, let's get to some of our resident questions. As I mentioned, we got some really good questions, and our first one comes to us from Kenneth Gibbons. Kenneth wants to know, does Arlington PD waive the college degree requirement for prior service in the military? So basically the question is here, if you've got military service, are you able to have that count toward maybe getting hired if you don't have a degree? Is that possible?
It is not. We hire veterans all the time. Every class that we have members of our military service. And we value what experience that they bring to us from the military, just as we would from people coming from the corporate world. It's just our department, the city, we value education.
Okay, very good. Well, our next question comes to us from Juan Alvarado. He asks, can I apply if I live out of state? So if you're from Colorado or Oklahoma or anywhere, can you apply to be a part of this program?
Absolutely. Once again, we have people from out of state all the time. We always tell our applicants that they'll have to visit Arlington between 2 and 3 times for the interview, their assessments, and then the final board. We try to consolidate those dates as close as possible when we can to accommodate people from out of state.
Okay, good deal. And let's take our Mike Turner's question now. Mike wrote in with this. What is the minimum and maximum age limit to join the Arlington PD? I'm assuming there is, at least on the minimum side. Is there a maximum as well?
Yes. In the state of Texas, you have to be 21.
Okay.
And Arlington is not a civil service agency, so we do not have a maximum age limit.
Okay. We
just graduated a 53-year-old in this last academy class.
Really? So long as you meet all the requirements from the hiring standpoint and then are able to go through the academy and pass the academy, there's no maximum age there.
Correct.
Very good. All right. And then our last question comes to us from Nick Zachary. Nick wrote in, does the Arlington Police Department Academy, is it similar to a military boot camp? And that's an interesting question if you think about it, because we often think of the military boot camp as being very rigorous. So is the police department equally as rigorous?
Yes and no. It's not the same. However, our academy is very physically and mentally challenging. It is 32 weeks long. They go through about 70 hours total of physical fitness and defensive tactics training. About 20 of those hours are for physical fitness. We always recommend that people come in with a relatively above average physical fitness.
And as one kind of wrap-up question to all of this, I know we've seen recently in the headlines and so forth that police departments across the country are really wanting to recruit more top-notch officers, and there's been some difficulty getting people to come out and join their forces. What are we finding here in Arlington?
We're experiencing similar challenges. One of the things that we will do as far as when people are worried about the physical fitness standards is that we will have opportunities for them to come in and practice the physical agility test. People seem to be very wary of that. And then have questions about the physical fitness aspect of it. And we're always open to people calling us, sending us questions via email, anything that we can do to help them, guide them through this process.
Sure. Well, officer, thank you, and thank all of your fellow officers for your service here to our community. You're doing a great job at keeping us safe and keeping our neighborhoods safe, and we really do appreciate all of that.
Thank you.
And thank you to you at home for sending in all those questions. Another great list of questions from you, and we really do appreciate it. That's going to do it for this Ask Arlington. Tune in next time when we answer more of your questions.